50 captivating images that will make you see the world differently. Russian famine. Millions died during the famine caused by wars and drought in the Volga and Ural regions. Relief efforts helped many survive in 1921. Ku Klux Klan meeting, Georgia. Stone Mountain hosted the resurgence of the KKK, whose influence peaked before declining due to scandals in 1921. Scott and Zelda Fitzgerald. The couple returned to Minnesota, where Zelda gave birth to their daughter, Frances. As Scott's literary career gained momentum in 1921, Mary Anderson, as director of the Women's Bureau. Anderson advocated for equal pay and workplace reforms in 1921. The Hudson Motor Car Company, known for its Super 6 engine, peaked at producing 300,000 cars, falling short of competitors like Ford in 1921. Margaret Gorman, a 16-year-old from Washington, D.C., won the first Miss America title in 1921. The Royal Air Force staged a simulated air raid at Hendon Aerodrome, showcasing aviation advancements. In 1921, Charlie Chaplin returned to England for the first time in 9 years to promote The Kid, greeted by thousands of fans. In 1921, the R-38 airship, the largest of its time, exploded during a test flight over England's Humber estuary, killing most on board. In 1921, a white mob destroyed Tulsa's Greenwood district, killing up to 300 black residents and leaving 35 blocks in ruins. In 1921, the IRA burned Dublin's Custom House during the Irish War of Independence. In 1921, women were allowed to serve as police officers in Great Britain, though without arrest powers. In 1921, Rabindranath Tagore, Nobel laureate and independence advocate, discussed founding Visva Bharati University, which was established later that year. In 1921, French actress Sarah Bernhardt was photographed 2 years before her death at 78. In 1921, Zenzo Shimizu reached the semi-finals at Wimbledon and won the Queen's Club Championship. In 1921, Wisconsin schools began serving milk as part of an educational initiative in the dairy state. In 1921, Lenin's Communist International sought to dismantle capitalism and abolish states. In 1921, Adolf Hitler became leader of the Nazi Party, marking the start of his political rise. In 1921, The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, written by June Matisse and starring Rudolph Valentino, became the year's top-grossing film. In 1921, Babe Ruth led the Yankees to their first World Series title and set a new home run record with 59 in 1921. Despite claims that women lacked the strength to crank Star gas engines, early female motorists proved them wrong. By 1915, Anita King completed the first solo cross-country drive, inspiring other women to embrace the freedom of car ownership. Prohibition, 1920 to 1933, led to rampant liquor-related crime. This photo shows NYC Deputy Police Commissioner John A. Leach overseeing the disposal of seized alcohol during a 1921 raid. Electricity transformed hairstyling in the 1920s, with salons adopting heated curling techniques like Nestler's electric permanent wave machine. Short hairstyles made these waves particularly popular. Sylvia Pankhurst, a British suffragette arrested 15 times for women's rights advocacy, also fought against fascism and colonialism. This photo shows her celebrated at a breakfast following her release from prison. Following a 1920 uprising in British-occupied Mesopotamia, the Cairo Conference addressed the region's future. Notable attendees included Winston Churchill, T.E. Lawrence, Lawrence of Arabia, and Gertrude Bell, with 2 lion cubs making an unexpected appearance. Prince Hirohito's 1921 European tour marked the first international trip by a Japanese crown prince. He appreciated British court life's informality, played golf with Prince Edward, and dined with King George V. London-born Bob Hope began his 80-year career in vaudeville alongside Lloyd Durbin. Their comedy acts mixed dancing, physical humor, and skits, often at the expense of ethnic groups. a reflection of the era. In 1921, Benito Mussolini attended fascist meetings in Rome and was elected to parliament, setting the stage for his 1922 appointment as prime minister and the establishment of a totalitarian state. Boxer Jack Dempsey's 1921 heavyweight title defense against Georges Carpentier attracted 91,000 spectators and became boxing's first million-dollar gate event. Famed Russian-American composer Igor Stravinsky lived in France in 1921, working on Trois Mouvements de Petrouchka. He moved to the US in 1939, leaving a profound legacy in classical music. French chef Auguste Escoffier revolutionized cooking techniques and kitchen management. His book, Le Guide Culinaire, remains a culinary staple. This photo shows him relaxing in a Paris cafe. In 1914, Lionel Martin and Robert Bamford named their car company Aston Martin after success at the Aston Hill climb in Buckinghamshire, England. Completed in 1902, NYC's triangular Flatiron building housed a pioneering French restaurant that welcomed black jazz bands before closing due to prohibition. This 1921 photo shows a Chicago policewoman enforcing women's bathing suit laws, which prohibited suits more than 6 inches above the knee. Men's swimwear faced no such restrictions. Jack Johnson, the first black world heavyweight champion, was a Harlem Renaissance icon despite widespread racism. This photo shows him performing winter chores. Hawaiian Duke Kahanamoku, an Olympic swimmer, introduced surfing to the world. In 1925, he famously rescued 8 fishermen using his surfboard. This photo depicts the ZT Ranch in Wyoming, part of the iconic Pitchfork Ranch. Photographer Charles Belden's romanticized images popularized the American ranch lifestyle. Before automatic washing machines, 1937, French women washed clothes by hand. This photo shows garments weighted with pebbles to dry in northern France's strong winds. Italian soprano Luisa Tetrazzini was celebrated for her remarkable range and vocal technique. The pasta dish Tetrazzini commemorates her love for San Francisco. Warren Harding, U.S. President, 1921 to 1923, was tarnished by scandals discovered after his death. This photo shows him shortly after his inauguration. The USS Alabama, retired as a World War I training ship, was sunk during 1921 aerial bomb tests designed to advance naval aviation. The 6 Days of New York cycling race, held at Madison Square Garden, featured 2-person teams racing in relays. Alfred Goulet shares the record for most wins. Post-World War I houses in Kensal Green, London, were built to accommodate growing populations efficiently. The area retains a strong Irish influence.